Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Okay, so welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 25th of October 2024. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma residing in the heart of every being. It is with the great sense of gratitude that we are able to contemplate on these extraordinary truths of Vedanta by the grace of Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Shankar, all the great sages, Shriji Maharaj, and all the amazing Santa Parampara that is present in the Sanatan Dharma. We have this opportunity to really recognize the power that is within us through the contemplation on the scriptures. So Shastras are extremely powerful. They are very, very they're very much filled with all kinds of wisdom, all kinds of truth that is already hidden within us. So I want to do just a bit of a review today. I'm going to show you on the screen here. So since we're studying Vivek Chudamani, just as a quick review of some of the basic sadhana that is shown in the Vivek Chudamani by Shankaracharya Ji. If you remember this is from a couple of years back that we actually looked at this. Just hold on one moment here. There's a couple of points here that I just want to make sure it's very clear. Just some terminology, So in the Advaitic system, Brahman is described as Sat Chit Ananda. That is, pure existence is Sat or Satya. Pure consciousness is Chit and pure bliss is Ananda. The world is considered to be mithya, but I remember, as I mentioned to you yesterday, that it is mithya only from the point of view of the Brahman, from Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But when a person is living in the relative world, it is not mithya. But from that point of view, from the higher point of view, it is a substratum, and there doesn't seem to be anything other than that. So that's also not wrong. Nobody's wrong here. There's not a question of right and wrong. Shankaracharya Ji is not wrong, and Ramanuja is not wrong, and Ramakrishna is not wrong, and Aurobindo, or it doesn't, Jesus or whoever. Anybody who is speaking out of Anubhav, they're speaking from their Anubhav, from what they're able to perceive, and then they speak at the relative world again, within the relative world again. That's the way it goes. So these are some basic ideas to keep in mind. Okay, now hold on a second here. Let's go back here. So what was I looking at? There's a bunch of things. I just wanted to review these. All right. The word avidya means that which is contrary to knowledge, contrary to jnana. So Maya creates the illusion that the body, the mind, and the external world are separate from the true self. This is the notion of avidya, which is ultimately non-different from Brahman. So in Advaita Vedanta, the basic concept is that even this body, this mind, and everything is actually it's only the Brahman in another form only, another way. But to realize that this notion that the Atma is separate from the three bodies is there even in Advaita Vedanta. So it kind of goes both ways. The illusion leads to avidya, ajnan, where the individual falsely identifies with the body, the mind, and remains unaware of their true divine nature. So this is a false identification. Well, why did that happen? Nobody knows. From Advaita philosophical perspective, there's no real answer to that question, why there is avidya. So Shankaracharya Ji and others would say, don't ask that question, forget that question and realize who you are. So the question disappears, as I mentioned yesterday. So Maya also in the Advaitic tradition has two powers, veiling power and projecting power. Avrana Shakti and Vikshep Shakti. These are all just basic concepts. We want to make sure they're clear. Veiling power is that the concealing nature. Maya conceals who we really are. Hence, we're able to perceive ourselves as we are. That is called Avran Shakti. Vikshep Shakti is the projection. Maya projects the false appearance of the world of duality and multiplicity. It creates the appearance of the phenomenal world and makes it seem real, much like a magician creates an illusion. This projection results in the mistaken belief in the reality of the world and the experiences of duality, such as pleasure, pain, birth and death, success and failure. So the world refers to the Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha, and Shushupti Avastha. All three avasthas are our own. So that's called Vikshep Shakti. All right, now let's go further. This is just more elaboration on these two powers here. Consequences of Avran Shakti. Identification with ego. Due to the veiling of the true self, the individual becomes identified with ahankar, with ego. This identification leads to the pursuit of desires, the fear of death, the attachment to worldly objects and relationships. All these things happen. Once we are identified with the ego, the ahankar that has evolved out of prakriti, the human being, the person says, I am this ego, and then then the endless number of desires come about, emotional turmoil comes about, and the cycle of samsara is born that way. The veiling power of Maya, you can see point number 3 here, the veiling power of Maya is what generates this perpetual samsara. That is what it is, and that's where people get stuck. That's where the jivatma gets stuck in the cycle of the samsara. And the goal is to come out of this. So the veiling power of Maya perpetuates the individual's entrapment in samsara, cycle of birth and death. As long as the individual remains ignorant of his or her true nature, the person continues to undergo experiences of pleasure and pain, success and failure, and ultimately the repetitive cycles of reincarnation. Right? So these are basic ideas here. The Vikshep Shakti is the projecting power of Maya which creates the appearance of the phenomenal world. What do we see outside with our senses? We see trees and mountains and houses and people and insects and bugs and animals and human beings and everything we see. That is called the phenomenal world. That phenomenal world is a projection of Maya, according to Vedantic teachers. Where did they get this idea from? From this realization of the Brahman when they transcend the internal limitations of the antakarana. They transcend it through meditation, through jnana. So meditation is like a sadhana, but jnana is not meditation. Jnana is realization. That's the difference. इसको ज्ञानी हम कहते हैं, वो is an enlightened person. It's not just a person with a lot of knowledge or information can repeat verses and things like that. That's all good, but that is a type of a meditative, reflective, intellectual practice, like what we're doing every day. But the goal is to open Gnan. So when Gnan opens, the projecting power, the Vikshep Shakti of Maya stops functioning at that point. If it stops functioning completely, one is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. One doesn't see this world anymore. One is not in Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha, or Shushupti Avastha. One is in Turiya Avastha. Turiya Avastha is the 4th state. So that is possible, but that is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Ramanujacharya's approach to this would say, no, you're still living in this world. The world is real. Bhagwan Swaminarayan, same idea. He said that the world is real, but you can have Gnan Samadhi. It's as if you were in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, you're living in the world as a Gnani, with the world of names and forms, doing karma yoga, doing your duties, but without any entanglement, without any attachment, without any kind of sense of the reality of the world. It's still being done. It is real in one sense, but it's not real in a higher sense. So that is called karma yoga mixed with Gnan yoga. And then what the Bhakti Acharyas have said is that beyond the Brahman is Parabrahman. That nobody becomes Parabrahman. That is Paramatma, Bhagwan. That Ekam Eva Dvitiyam Tattva hai wo. Or wo koi banta nahi. Even the Brahman doesn't become the Parabrahman. This is the idea. So that is where Bhakti is eternally present. So the Jivatma can become like Akshara Brahman, but then is always subservient to Parabrahman, because that Purushottam Narayan, Paramatma Narayan, that is written in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, Tasmat Sharamatitoham Aksharaadapi chottama atosmi loke vedecha pratita purushottamaha. That particular verse that is shown in the chapter 15. In fact, let me show that to you. Give me just a moment here. There's a very nice website you can go to for the Bhagavad Gita. Just give me just a moment. I'm going to show it to you here in just a second here. All right, hold on. Do a screen share. You can find all the verses of the Gita on this site. Give me just a moment to screen share this out. Okay, let's do this here. It's beautifully done, and there you can hear the audio also. So this is the site. It is holy-bhagavad-gita.org. I think this is from the Kripalu Maharaj organization. One of his devotees has created this, Swami Mukundananda. So it's quite good. So if you go here to the chapter selection, give me just a moment here. Let's go to index. I'm going to show it to you. Chapter 15 we want to go to. And we want to go, I think it's, let's see here, which verse is it? Hold on. Yes. See this verse. This is verse number 16 in chapter 15. See, dvamimo purusho loke kshara akshara evacha. Kshara sarvani bhutani kutasto kshara uchyate. So if you're familiar with the BAPS organization, the Swaminarayan BAPS organization, it is actually based on this verse, or this is the connection to that. That there's two kinds of beings, Shar. See, you can see Akshar and Purushottam right here. Akshar and Uttama Purushas is another one on top of that. So the Shar is this perishable creation. Akshara Brahman is the imperishable. The perishable are all beings in the material world. The imperishable are the liberated beings. The Dva Ima Purusho Loke Kshara Evacha. Kshara Sarvani Bhutani Kutastokshara Uchate. So now, if you go to the next verse, 17, you will see it says Uttama Purushastvanyaha. That means that the Uttama Purusha, the Purushottam Bhagavan, wo akshar se bhi par hai. This is written in chapter 15, verse 17. So besides these is the supreme divine personality who is the indestructible soul. This is Paramatma. So on this basis, Ramanujacharya and others have said, Bhagavan Narayan is beyond Akshara Brahma. Shankaracharyaji's interpretation on this is different. He has stated that he has not differentiated between Shar, Akshar, and this Purushottam Bhagavan. He said they're all only one. That is Advait Vedanta. But he's very clear here. Uttama Purushastvanyaha Paramatmetyu. I have to see this pronunciation carefully. Paramatma Uddharitaha Yataha Lokatrayam Avishaya. Like this. So we'll go through these. The point is that Paramatma, Bhagavan, enters into the material world as Sakshi. This is the point here. So the Purushottam Bhagavan is the Ishvaraha, the supreme controller. Now, there's another verse I was looking for here. Just one moment here. This is the verse I was looking for. The verse number 18 is Yasmat Sharamatito Maksharaadapi chottamaha Atosmi loke vedesha pratitaha purushottamaha. This is verse number 18. This is where it is extremely clearly stated that Bhagavan says, I am the transcendental to the perishable world of matter, even to the imperishable soul, the Akshara Brahman. Hence, I am celebrated both in the Vedas and the Smritis as a supreme divine personality. That's how it is translated here. Translation is okay, but if you really look at the actual language here, Yasmat Sharam Yasmat Ksharam Atitaha Aham. I hope you can see that right here. This is the actual word-by-word translation. That Yasmat, hence, Ksharam, that which is everything that is perishable, changing, coming and going, that which is beyond that, I am beyond that. Atit, Atit means transcendent too. Beyond the Shara, And he says, Aksharat. This is interesting here. This is where the whole interesting point is. Aksharat api cha uttamaha. I hope you can see this language here. Aksharat means beyond the imperishable also. This is where the differences between Advaita Vedanta and the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta. That the Parabrahman, that is Purushottam Bhagwan who is speaking here, says, I am beyond Akshara Brahma. And if you look at Vachanamrut, Bhagwan Swaminarayan ka Vachanamrut, you will find this Siddhant all the way through the Vachanamrut. Entire Swaminarayan Sampradaya has this verse, it's elaboration of this verse actually. So, Aksharat api cha uttamaha. You see, ataha, therefore, asmi loke vede cha. Therefore, in this world, in the Vedas, asmi cha pratitaha. Pratita, I am established as, celebrated as, known as Purusha Uttamaha. Purusha Uttamaha. Purushottama. So when you break up the word Purushottamaha, it is made out of two words. That is Purusha Uttamaha. That means that highest of all the Purushas. How many Purushas are there? In fact, Purusha doesn't mean male or female. Those are liberated souls. They are Akshara Muktas actually. That's what that is. This is all explained in much more detail inside the Vachanamrut. I've covered that. We'll cover it further in the Swaminarayan Spirituality recording. So the verse here is Purusha Uttamaha. That Purusha, that is Uttama Purusha, that is Purushottamaha. See, Yasmat Sharamatitoham Aksharat Apichottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Pratitaha Purushottamaha. This is so fantastic. This is verse number 18, chapter 15. It is a nuclear bomb verse. It shows the entire Tattvagnan. So Bhagwan Swaminarayan took this and further expanded it, and to show its more elaborate state, Jeev, Ishwar, Mahamaya, Akshara Brahma, and Parabrahma. So that with his Shar here, Yasmat Sharam, underneath Shar, that is Mahamaya. And underneath that is all the Jeev and Ishwaras. And that Akshara Brahman, that is the imperishable, isko Akshardham kehte hai. वो Akshardham में कौन है? Purusha Uttamaha. वो Akshardhami hai. So you can understand the Akshar Purushottam Tattvagnan very clearly right through this verse number 18. All right, so we'll continue on this further tomorrow. Let us do the Mantra Pushpanjali. At this time, I want to try to stick to time.